guys, welcome to my live stream. I just want to talk to you all. So if anyone want to talk to me, just put it in the chat. Okay, just put it in the chat. I can only move my head, and like if I move my head, my dress will move left and right. What the hell was that? So yeah. Do you like my avatar? It's my new avatar and my new background. I'm just gonna talk to you all. You can type it in the chat. Let me try winking, by the way. Hope I can wink. I just look weird since I'm wearing glasses. Not in this, but I'm wearing glasses in real life, since you guys know already. I cannot move my bunny ears. I'm back. What the hell? What the hell is happening? What the hell is happening? Why is the mouth not moving? Why the hell is the mouth not moving? I'm gonna talk to you. Yes, I'm 11 years old. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm not 11. I am actually like 13 years old. Yes. Oh my god. I'm here to talk with you guys and all. So yes. I'm gonna also read it.
Leave my leaves alone. My neighbor Walter has hated my leaves since the week I moved in 3 years ago. I let my yard go wild in the fall on purpose. Bees and butterflies need the leaf litter to survive the winter, and my backyard is basically a hotel for them from October to March. Walter thinks it makes me look lazy. He's told half the block. Our yards are split by a chain link fence, the kind you can see straight through. My leaves don't blow into his yard. They can't. The fence line runs along a little slope that tips toward my house, so gravity and wind both keep everything on my side. It doesn't matter to Walter. He still glares at my yard every single morning when he steps out in his robe for his first cigarette of the day. Curtis, our mail carrier, mentioned it to me once while I was getting the mail. He said, "Man, that guy really does not like you." I laughed it off. I figured Walter was just an old grump who needed a hobby that wasn't hating my yard. I was wrong about how far he'd take it. Last Tuesday, I got home from my shift at the clinic around 6. It was already getting dark, that early October dark that sneaks up fast. I parked in my driveway and noticed something was off before I even got out of the car. The side of my yard, right along the fence where Walter's window looks out, was bare dirt. Every leaf that would have been visible from his kitchen window was gone. They'd all been raked into one giant pile shoved around the back corner of my house, out of his sightline completely. I stood there in my scrubs just staring at it. Someone had spent real time on this. It wasn't a quick job. Whoever did it had raked my entire side yard down to the grass. I texted my neighbor Denise, who lives 2 houses down and misses nothing. She called me back in about 4 minutes. "Girl, I saw the whole thing," she said. "Walter was out there for like 2 hours this afternoon with his rake and one of those tarps. I thought maybe you'd asked him to help you or something." I had not asked him to help me with anything, ever. I walked the fence line just to be sure I wasn't losing my mind. My gate was still latched, which meant he'd climbed the chain link, or gone around through the side easement, just to get into my yard and rearrange my property because he didn't like looking at it. I thought about knocking on his door, but I know Walter. I know exactly how that goes. He'd tell me leaves are trash, that I'm bringing down property values, that back in his day way nobody let their yard go to seed like that. He said all of it to my face the first summer I lived here, arms crossed at the fence like a bouncer. I wasn't going to get anywhere yelling at a 71-year-old man about pollinators, so I didn't knock. I waited. I made dinner, watched some TV, let it get good and dark, past 9, past the hour Walter usually turns his porch light off and goes to bed. Then I put on my sneakers, grabbed the rake from my garage, and went out into my own yard at night like some kind of raccoon. It took me almost an hour. I raked every leaf out of that pile and spread them back exactly where they'd been, right along the fence line, right under his kitchen window, right where he'd see them first thing. And since I was already out there with a full rake and zero patience left, I didn't stop at just my own leaves. I grabbed the 3 bagged bundles sitting at my curb that the city was supposed to pick up Thursday, and dumped those in too, right along the same stretch of fence. My yard had never looked fuller. It looked like a leaf pile convention. I even lined some of the thicker branches up so the pile sat a little higher right in the center of his window view, like a small hill of proof that this was staying exactly where it belonged. Then I went inside, washed the dirt off my hands, and went to bed feeling better than I had all week. The next morning I was up early for a shift, standing at my kitchen sink with coffee, when I saw Walter come out onto his back step in his robe for his smoke like always. He stopped cold. He just stood there staring at the fence line, cigarette halfway to his mouth, not moving. Then he started cussing, loud, the kind of cussing you do when you think nobody's around to hear it, except my window was cracked open, and I heard every word. He stomped down his steps, walked right up to the fence, and stood there shaking his head at a yard full of leaves that were, by every legal definition, 100% mine. He grabbed his rake off the shed wall like he was about to start all over again, then stopped himself halfway across his own patio. He looked at the pile, he looked at his watch, he looked at the pile again, then he threw the rake down on his own grass, stomped back inside, and slammed the sliding door so hard I heard the glass rattle from my kitchen. I sipped my coffee and watched the leaves sit there, exactly where I put them. Leave my leaves alone. My neighbor Walter has hated my leaves since the week I moved.
So they're fighting all about a leaf. Yeah, I actually love the revenge, but yeah, what the hell? They're fighting about leaves. One don't want leaf, one don't want leaf. One don't want leaf, and one do want the leaf. One hates leaves, nature, and one loves nature. You know, if someone did that to me, I'll just call the police. Crossing property. But yeah, on to the next video. Hold on. Let's go to.
Leave my leaves alone. My neighbor Walter has.
I'm gonna watch this dude. I love.
Petty revenge for my dad. I was 19 when I told my dad I was pregnant. We were standing in the kitchen. He had a coffee.
I'm sorry, I had to pause it, but 19 and you are pregnant? Damn!
Mug in his hand, and he set it down so hard the handle cracked. You're just like your sisters, he said. You'll never get a degree. You're a failure. I remember every word because I stood there and just took it. I didn't cry until I got to my car. My 2 older sisters had both dropped out of college, one after a semester, one after 2 years. My dad had given up on the idea that any of his daughters would ever finish anything. So when I told him I was pregnant, he didn't see a young woman about to become a mother. He saw one more statistic proving him right. I had my son that winter. I moved in with my aunt 2 towns over because staying at home felt impossible.
What the hell did you get pregnant at 19? Ah? Oh, hold on, I had to mute. Hello? Yeah, back to what I'm going. I had to mute. Okay, I had to mute. So wait. I'm gonna put a voice changer on to confuse you all. Okay? So wait. Sorry, I had to go talk to someone. I'm gonna say ah. Hi. Wait, my voice is soft.
I don't even know what I can do.
Come and slow, you can make it now. Anyways, hello, welcome to my live stream. Uh, Welcome to my live stream. How are you doing?